Hello, welcome to Rewriting Reality. This time I actually started the stream on time and we didn't just appear in your face all of a sudden like we did last time, which was so much fun. We were having such a good conversation before we realized no one was watching, but that seems to be fixed now. Today's guest is Les Watson, who has not arrived yet in the back studio. So it looks like you're going to get more Shiraz and less Watson until we figure out what's going on. So he should be here because I did talk with him just yesterday and he's like, was a whole go. So hopefully it's not one of those things that we had before, which was, oh, time zones, didn't know. Double check, I did say 3 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so we're just waiting on Les. In the meantime, today, right now, Entrepreneurs Rocket Fuel Summit is going on. And if you don't know what that is, I would suggest you go to, I think it's Entrepreneurs. Let me just do a quick there. Entrepreneursrocketfuel.com. And I'm going to be speaking there later on today, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to do an awesome talk called The Problem is the Solution, why you actually want that big problem to stay and don't realize it. And that just goes down to what I talk about with rewriting reality, where, the belief you think you need to fix is not the belief that you need to fix. You need to look deeper. And that's what we do. Oof, on this show, I'm feeling some shifting going on in the audience already. Okay. And if you're new to the show, how does it work with me when I do some shifting things? I have conversations with people. We find out where their conscious beliefs match their unconscious beliefs. And whenever they don't, wherever you don't, you're lying to yourself. You think you're telling the truth. You think this is what you want, but your subconscious is like, no, I don't want that. I want anything but that. Let's make sure that never happens. And that may seem weird, but I just had a client this morning, and it was interesting what came up with her in that she wanted to basically take her hands off the wheel of her business and go start a new business. And it's something she's been wanting to do for a while. She hasn't done it yet. She hasn't, pulled the trigger on that, and she can't figure out why. And then we looked at it, and she was worried unconsciously that once she leaves that business and starts the new one, even though she's setting that business up to be fully functional, self-sustaining, all the people know what they do, she's afraid that they'll feel abandoned by her by leaving the company. And she doesn't want people to feel bad or feel abandoned by her specifically. That's not something that ever came up in her conscious mind. And yet that's what showed up when we talked. And when I asked her if that's ever happened to her, she was just like, oh yeah. Because, you have it to you and you make this deal with yourself. You make this pact. I'm never going to do that to someone else. I'm going to make sure no one feels that way. But here's the problem. You can't control other people's feelings. So even if you do everything you can to make sure that when you transition out of someone's life, out of your business, out of one area into another, people are going to think what they're going to think. And if they think, oh my God, you abandoned me, even though you did everything not to, that's just what's going to happen. But if your belief is, I can't let anyone do that, then chances are you'll never leave, because you can't guarantee that people are going to do that. You need sign off from every single person, and then you'd need to believe that sign off from every single person before that's going to happen. So think about that in your life. Where are you waiting for these sign offs from other people for you to be able to do what you want to do? Right? Are you waiting for someone to give you approval to really blow your life up and do big things, wonderful things? Are you waiting for someone to say you're good enough and now you can do things, right? What are you waiting for other people to tell? Ooh, that is hitting some people right now. Another word to just let you know what's going on. When people shift, whether they're on the show with me right now, watching right now, or watching the show later, this is the crazy thing. I tend to yawn and cough in reaction to the shifts that people are going through. So this is a big topic for a lot of people because you don't realize how much this is affecting your life. worrying about the feelings of other people, worrying about the approval of other people, whether it's specific people you know, like your parents, or whether it's just the world at large. What will the world think if I do this? How will I be seen? What will people think of me? Right? Because oftentimes you want to build a business, you want to create something huge, but then you look at people that have done that and you sit there and go, well, those people are jerks. Right? So you're like, oh, I don't want to be a jerk. And so your unconscious says, well, I got to make sure I'm never a jerk. So the people that built those big businesses are jerks. So I'll make sure I don't build a big business. And even if you're trying to build a small business, if you believe, well, the small business is going to lead to the big business, then you won't create the big business. You'll create the small business as small as possible. Hope this is making sense. Ooh, yeah, lots of shifts going on out there. So I want to tell you a funny story that happened to me. I love when the universe reminds me of how I'm supposed to live. And in some of the coolest little ways. So yesterday I got this reminder because I was on my way to see a friend. And when I left, there was enough time to get there on time. But as I was traveling, traffic got really bad. And then Google tells me I'm going to be 10 minutes late. So I said, oh, I don't want to be 10 minutes late. And this is called rewriting reality because I like to shift reality. And so I said, okay, I'll just create a way for me to get there on time. And when I do things like that, and when you can learn how to do this as well, it's not about, okay, how do I do it? It's just, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to create a faster way to get there. So I just said that, let's create a faster way. And I'm driving along, and then all of a sudden Google pipes up and says, we have found a faster route. And, press accept if you want to do it. And it's going to save you 10 minutes. So I'm like, there it is. That's how I'm going to get there early or on time. And it was to turn left at a certain corner. But as I'm driving close to that corner, I noticed that the left turn lane is about 100 meters long, but the lineup to turn left is about 500 meters long. We're in a 2-lane highway, and one of the lanes of the 2-lane highway is actually being used as the left turn lane because so many people want to turn left. Maybe they're all listening to Google saying turn left here. And at this point, I know if I get in that line and I've got to wait for the ability to turn left, I'm not going to be 10 minutes early. I am going to be 10 minutes later than the 10 minutes. I'm already late. And so I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just not going to do that. I'll just arrive 10 minutes late. So then I go around that extra line. I pull in front of the lights, and I'm waiting for the next light. And then the little green arrow comes on for them to do the left turn, and they start doing the left turn. And all of a sudden, I notice there's no cars beside me. And I'm like, why are there no cars beside me? And I look back, and there's a guy in the left turn lane on his cell phone, lost. He wasn't texting. He was just like watching something, a video or something. And I'm like, wow. Right? And there's all these cars behind him, all stuck behind him. And it's Canada, so there's no horns honking. They're just waiting for him to get a clue. And I'm watching and waiting for him to get a clue and waiting and waiting. And finally he gets a clue. He's like, and he guns the car and he drives and he doesn't make it. He doesn't make it in time for the light. He just stops like a car two ahead of me. And I'm like, idiot. And all of a sudden I realized, wait, that lane was empty and the green arrow was on. If I had just stopped being in judgment of this guy, waiting for him to get a clue, and just said, wait, there's the spot I was provided. If I take that left turn, I'm going to get there on time. I would have been there on time. It was an amazing lesson because sometimes you don't realize that how many opportunities are being denied to you because you're too busy judging other people and what they're doing, what idiots they're being, in your opinion, right? And you're watching people do things wrong and going, oh my God. And you're watching people do amazing things. You go, oh, why isn't it me? And meanwhile, opportunities are right there, physically right there, and you don't see them. Your mind is not in that space. So look, I've been chatting away and I didn't realize we've got people showing up. Hello, Joy. How's it going? And I did not know today was Rewriting Reality Day. Oh, that is awesome. And it's so good that that's reality because I am the awesome reality shifter. So I'm playing with these things. I love playing with these. Look at that. Isn't that cool? There you go. Special offers and stuff. Text now. Text often. Just make that text blow up. I want Jessica to go, why am I getting so many texts? Oh, it's Shiraz. They were just supposed to text the one time, and he's making them text all the time. We can do that. We can play with Jessica. Let's do that. She's probably watching and going, oh, dear. Yeah, she's rolling her eyes. I can feel her rolling her eyes right now. Okay, so we still have, oh, there it is. He just said, I have it as 2 hours later. We'll get myself ready and be there in 5 minutes. All right, we will have more or less in 5 minutes. So, okay, I've got to make sure people get these time zones right, because I did put the times. I wish I could display that right now. So it's the EST. So it's happening again. We will have another guest that shows up late, which means we'll probably go late. I don't want to keep you guys late, but this may happen again. But remember, every time we go late, it's because we start hanging out with you guys, and you guys seem to have a lot of fun. I can't wait to get coached by Les, because Les is going to help me with time. Ironically, Les is going to help me with time. Let's see how that goes. So, ooh, love to play with Jessica. Ooh, Karen. Oh, there we go. We are about to get more Les. Let's bring him in. How you doing?
I'm great. I had it as 2 hours later. How about that?
Okay. I was just talking about that. I said, did I make sure I got the time zone in? And I said, I did, but you are not the first guest to get the time zones messed up. So,
and it was interesting because it was either StreamYard or the scheduling put it into my calendar. So I'm going based on what was put in rather than what I thought it was. And then your message, and it went, oh, baby, there it is. Come on, let's go.
So, oh, I like this one. It's a good time here, more or less. All right, Les, welcome to the show. I am looking forward to getting coached by you today. I'm looking forward to coaching you today. But before any of that happens, can you tell us exactly who you are, what we're going to be doing, and why you do it?
Get More Time is all around your relationship with time and how you can be more productive. As I always say, I've written a book called Get Back an Hour in Every Day, and I can get you back that hour in every day. It came out of a lot of personal development work that I did back in the day, where I was trained by one of the doyens of time management. His name is David Allen, and he wrote the other book on time management, Getting Things Done. And it went from there. People kept asking me, how come you've got so much time, and how come you interact with time really easy, and how come you've got no stress? And that's where it came from. So it went on from there. I then creating success coaching, and the rest is history.
All right. So you seem to always have a lot of time when people don't.
Indeed.
Wow. Okay. This is something I would love to get coached on. I would love to have more time. And I'm pretty sure the people watching are thinking, oh, this is good. I need this. I need this right now. So we've got some people watching live, so you'll see the comments coming up. If you're let us know, could you use a few more hours in the day? Let's see, there's always a little delay. Oh, because we're going to YouTube.
Where's the book? I'll get the book. There it is.
There's
the book. Get Back an Hour in Every Day.
Oh, okay. Get back an hour every day. 7 hours a week. Who would love to have an extra 7 hours a week? What is that? The A to Z of being more productive. Okay. Okay, here they come. Hell yes. Okay, I got to get used to this delay to YouTube and back. So, all right. So, Les, I am here. I am always trying to be as teachable as possible. And let's get started. Where do I start? I wouldn't even know where to start with this. So, please educate me.
Okay, one of the easiest places to start is what was given to me was a cycle of productivity where you have an idea and you start it, then continue it, then finish it, then acknowledge it. If that cycle is broken in any place, it creates an incompletion. And we've all had these incompletions. And what I do is I take people through a process that I call a data dump or a brain dump or a mind sweep, where you get everything out of your head down onto paper. And it's a very powerful exercise, because the first thing that happens is people finish it and say, I had no idea I had so much on my mind. And then they go, and now I'm in overwhelm. Thanks very much, Les. I was fine when I walked in, and now I'm just like, oh, why? So what happens is you get it all out of your head down onto paper. And the other side of that is it creates a lot of freedom, because people go, wow, I feel so good because I don't have the clutter in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So having it out of your head down onto paper, then you can look at it and categorize it and contextualize it. So categorize, several things you can do. One is there anything on your list that you haven't done for a long time that's just sitting there? It's like, the birds, it's been there for 12 years, mate. It's time to let it go. It's like, no, I don't want to let it go. It's one of my favorite things, but you haven't done it in 12 years. I think that energy that you've been holding on to it, you can actually free that up by letting that one go and putting it into something that would create more of what you want. So given that, you can delete some items. There are 2-minute jobs, things that just take 2 minutes, and you highlight all of the 2-minute jobs, and you can get those done really quickly. It's like bang, 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 get them done, get them done, get them done. 2-minute jobs, single action items are the next ones, things that are longer than 2 minutes and not a project. So things like taking a library book back to the library, put in the car, drive to the library, put it through the slot, and drive back again. So that in and of itself is a single action item. And then projects have more than one action. So projects are defined by lots and lots of actions. So you're kind of saying to yourself, what is the single next action item that I need to do on this project? So those things again are delete, 2-minute, single action, and projects. Now, one other that's in there, sometimes we would like to have things in the future, like for us going up the east coast of Australia, or visiting Babu in the States, or hey, going to Egypt or going to Japan, or putting a deck on the back of our house. Mm-hmm. They are things that aren't this week, aren't this month, aren't this year. So you put them on a separate list. So that as you're doing your planning for next year, you say, okay, is there anything on my future list that I want to bring into my planning for this year and make happen? So that's an opportunity out of those things in your head to go, oh no, I do want to do it, but not right now. And I can put on what I call a Sunday maybe, or a Sunday I'll list.
Okay.
And what it does is it frees up all your energy, because you go, I know exactly what I need to do now.
Okay. I want to go right back to the first one.
Go on.
The delete.
Yep.
Okay. So you say, well, you haven't done it. And you said 12 years, which is like a long time. And is 12 years your cutoff, or would you actually say it would be like 2 years or 5 years? Like, is that just so I want to get a grasp on that, because there are some things that I know I've had that have been on the plate for years that I'm like, I really want to do it, but everything just keeps coming up in life and I haven't been able to let it go.
Yep. I would take it from the amalgam of I should do it to Sunday maybe. And I'd put that on the Sunday maybe. I could get around to it if I really want to. I do want to do it. And I'd put it on a planning sheet for next year and say, do I want to do that next year? Now, there are times when you can be honest with yourself and say, really, it's a nice to have, but I'm really not going to do it. I'm really never going to do that thing. Therefore, I need to let it go. So that's where the honesty comes in, to go, no, take it off your list altogether. It was a pipe dream and it's never going to happen.
That sounds like it would be hard for a lot of people.
Yeah, yes, and now you're leading me down the garden path. For me, it's time management is all about leadership and discipline. Leadership is about creating your own life and leading the way. It's making decisions. So a lot of us kind of go, oh, email, I'll read that later. It's not making a decision.
Mhm.
Whereas the way to get on top of your email is to make decisions as the email comes in or as a piece of paper comes in. You look at the piece of paper and you say, oh, a piece of paper, based on that, do I do it? If I can do it within 2 minutes, do I dump it or delete it? Do I delegate it to somebody, or do I defer it or diarize it and do it later? And having those 4 things, and I know you're going to take me back on those 4 in a moment. However, those 4 things are making a decision in the moment. And the more we make decisions, the more decisive we are and the more we get done.
Okay. I actually had a coach that told me the way he phrased it was never add time. And so
Right.
if something comes up and you can do it in the next 2 minutes, do it. Don't say, well, it's only going to take 2 minutes. I'll do it later. Do it. Stop adding time and get it out of the way. So
Yep.
it's good that I'm hearing that again. We've got little things here. Ready for Shiraz to learn about the clock today. I know how a clock works. I just don't pay attention to it. So, okay. And someone's looking for the name of the book. I don't know if I don't think you've heard the name of the book. The book I was talking about is actually called, oh, it's his book? Watch his book. Sorry. There's that book. Get Back an Hour Every Day. Because I just mentioned I wanted to have another book out.
Thanks, Karen. So the Get Back an Hour Every Day, it's available on my website of getmoretime.com.au. You can get it in a paperback or you can get it via an ebook as a PDF version, and you can download it immediately.
Okay. All right. So, Les, what is the thing you found the most people have the problem with around getting their time back?
Yeah, procrastination. And we've already mentioned it, that procrastination gets in the road. We don't want to make decisions. We want to feel like we've got control, but we actually, oh no, I'll make a decision on that one later. And yet the simple fact of those 4 Ds, do, dump, delegate, and decide when, get you back in control. So rather than procrastinate and not make decisions, I always say you didn't get to the point in your life where you are today by making bad decisions. You made good decisions. So given that, keep making good decisions. And yes, we make mistakes at times. That happens in life. We actually fall over and we make a mistake, but we dust ourselves off, pick ourselves back up, dust ourselves off, and we move on, learn from our mistakes and keep going. So what you have the opportunity to do is make decisions and make them faster. It's like, for me, often people will say, our meetings are a mess. And I go, well, try cutting your meetings in half. So an hour-long meeting, try doing that hour-long meeting in half an hour. Try taking your half-hour meetings and putting them in 15 minutes. Your 15 minutes, having them as stand-up meetings. And you're already gaining back time because you're choosing not to do the waffle, as I say, the waffle and the jibber-jabber in a meeting, and just get down to it. So the other part of meetings is having an agenda, making sure that you're coming into a meeting with a clear-cut agenda. And if something is raised that is not on the agenda, make sure that you put it on the side and go, if we get time, great, we'll handle that. If not, we'll put it forward to another one. And I always have an argument around meetings, because meetings don't start on time.
Mhm.
So one of the key factors of getting back an hour in every day is start your meetings on time. Finish your meetings on time. In fact, finish them early so it allows people to go to the next meeting. So have it so that you're starting a meeting on time, respecting the person that showed up, and then from there, finish your meetings on time, finish early, say, hey, we're 3/4 of the way through. What have we covered so far? What are the action points? Who do they belong to? And when are they going to be accomplished? So that as people walked out, they know exactly who they are, what they're doing, and by when, and they can walk away from the meeting in plenty of time to get to the next one.
Okay. I actually was at a meeting recently, and they had this exercise to plan a retreat. Right? They said planning a retreat for your business, whatever the business is, doesn't matter. We're going to do a retreat for it. And they said, we want you to get into groups and plan the retreat. And then they said, we're going to give you 10 minutes. And everyone went, what the hell are you talking about 10 minutes to plan a retreat? But when you have that 10 minutes and you realize the clock is ticking, the ideas just pour out. And people ended up with these really nice retreats that they created in just 10 minutes. And the facilitator said, you think you need a week or a month to plan a retreat, but if you did that, you just fill that hole up with conversations and back and forths. But now you've got a retreat in 10 minutes. And it was just amazing.
Parkinson's law. It's called Parkinson's law, that the task will fill up the time available to it.
Okay. So this came up, and I know Jessica is kidding. What if I need 5 hours back in a day? But like your book is get an hour back every day. Is that usually what you find you're getting back for people, or are you finding people are procrastinating so much, mismanaging so much that they can get back way more than an hour a day?
They can get back way more than an hour, and the guarantee is an hour, but you need to do the work. You need to actually make the decisions. You need to have the discipline to put the necessary things into your life to create back that hour. And it's all about the leadership. Are you able to lead your life? Are you able to be disciplined? And people don't want to know about it. It's like, oh, I don't want to be disciplined. I don't want to be the leader. But to get back the hour, it can be as simple as those sorts of things, making decisions and being on time, and just choosing to go through your email faster than what you normally do. Have your meetings and cut your meetings back in half, as you just said. Why? Because we just took it. Why is it, Babu, that the majority of us, when we go on holidays, we get stuff done prior to leaving our desk? And the reason being is that we've given ourselves a deadline. Mm-hmm. And giving ourselves a deadline, we go, I've got to get this done because I can't leave it undone before I go on holidays. If we'll get it done, get it done, get it done. We get it done and we go, oh, I got it done. I can now feel free to go on holidays. Given that, we actually are able to, given a set of circumstance, make that happen. So if we're given that deadline for ourselves in that scenario, why don't we give ourselves deadlines in other areas? For example, I've got a product that I'm developing and it has 8 modules. And I said to myself, I'm going to get the last 5 videos done yesterday. And some of them, what do we got? 16, 14, 9, 6. So they're lengthy sorts of videos, and there's PowerPoint. And I'd done the PowerPoint, but what I did was I said, all I need to do is put this to camera. That's all I need to do. Now, for some people, they go, that's a mammoth task. For me, I knew I could do it, but I needed to push myself. So I went, okay, let's go. I'm getting 3 done here. I'm getting 2 done there, and I'm getting 1 done there. And I scheduled it out. And by the end of the day, I had my videos and I created it. So that's the sort of thing of creating deadlines for yourself. One of the reasons why people have so much on their plate and so many incompletions is they don't set deadlines for themselves. So if you wanted to, you could say, okay, given all those incompletions in my life, what can I get done by the end of today? And you purpose to get them done. What can I get done by the end of the week? What can I get done by the end of June? What can I get done by the end of the 3rd quarter? What can I get done before Christmas? So you're actually putting a deadline on it, and then have it in a schedule or have it in a place where you're looking at it on a regular basis going, that's coming up, I need to move on it. The reason that this book, Get Back an Hour in Every Day, came into being was because I was in the next room. I was coaching, mentoring a particular lady, and my wife was with me because the woman was a friend. And she said to me, you know, Les, you've got enough to write a book. And I went, no, I don't. My wife slaps me and says, yes, you do. And I went, okay. Now I move in circles where people, when they give you a challenge, You don't walk away from it. You pick it up. So I went, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. You think that I've got enough material to write a book. I'm going to create a manuscript of this book, and I'll have it within 12 months. And I just put it out there that 12 months time I'd have a manuscript. And guess what? 12 months later, I had a manuscript. I actually purposed to put the words on a page. 6 months after that, I was able to walk away from the printers with a fully fledged book in my hand. And it led to me being on the Australian version of the Today Show. It got picked up, and people said this is worthy. And hey, it was the Today Show. So the actual publicity and the promotion of that was to a nationwide audience, and that's because I set a deadline. That's all it was. I set a deadline. I'm going to get this book done.
Nice. And I'm very curious what the name of the Australian version of the Today Show is, because I'm hoping it's the G'day Show. But what is it?
It's the Today Show, not the G'day Show. No, just Today.
That's such a lost opportunity there. Okay, I'm sad now.
Never mind.
All right. So now here's the thing. This all makes sense to me on paper. And especially since you're saying you've got to put this down on paper, or else it's so it gets out of your head and gets on paper. So this is, But how do you make sure that someone doesn't say, oh, I'm going to get that done, and then they keep looking at it, I'm going to get that done, I'm going to get that done. Oh, you know what? I didn't get that done. I'll just put it on the calendar for next year.
So it's about discipline. It's about the opportunity for the individual to look at the tasks that they have in front of them and have it like an agreement with yourself that if it's on the task list for today, I am going to get it done. Now, there are two types of tasks. There are A tasks and there are B tasks. You label them A or B. Okay. An A task is something that if it doesn't get done, the brown smelly stuff is going to hit the round twirly thing.
Okay.
And no one wants the shit to hit the fan. So you go, okay, given that, an A is something that if it doesn't get done, you're going to lose money on. You're going to lose a contract. You're going to lose reputation or face or a client. So they're the things that you go, Give you an example. Paying a bill. Oh, I'll pay that later. I'll pay that later today. I'll pay it later. It's okay. I won't pay it straight up. I'll pay it later. Why? Because I don't want to pay the bill. I know I have to pay the bill, but I know I'll pay it later. So you end up getting busy and you forget about the bill and you put your head on the pillow at the end of the day and you go, oh, wait a minute. I've forgotten to pay that bill. Now, you have a choice. You can go back to sleep or you can go to sleep, or you can get up and pay the bill. Why would you get up and pay the bill? Because if you don't pay the bill, as it clicks over midnight, it costs you an extra $150 to pay that bill. And no one's got time for that. So based on that, you get up and you pay the bill. So given that, you're to look at A priorities as something you do, and you do them as early as you can. So given the choice of doing an A or a B, you'd choose an A. And there are various levels of A's, but it's like, I know I need to get that one done first because it's time framed for somebody else to do it. So given that, A's and B's, will B's, some of the B's turn into A's tomorrow? Yes, they will. Is that okay? Yes, because handle tomorrow, but handle today. Today is time framed at 11:59:59. As soon as it goes to midnight, you've lost the chance in today to handle something. And some of the people that we pay bills to go, you missed it by 1 second, it costs you an extra $150. So I'm saying that make sure that you get them done and get them done early. Again, A's are anything that would cost you money. You'd lose a contract, lose a client, lose reputation.
Okay. So I think I get it, and I get the daily things. And I think my brain is slowly getting the long-term ones, because when you said talking about the long-term things, even though you've got that, you're going to have that book done by the end of the year, didn't have, I'm going to have the book done by the end of the year on the to-do list. You had, I'm going to have it done at the end of the year, and today I'm going to do this part of it to make sure it gets done by the end of the year.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And it's a daily thing. It's like those large chunks. For example, a project like that, you break it down into single next action items. So the example I use is the garage. So I'm not pointing to my garage.
Yep. Oh, there it is. Okay.
There it is. People go to the garage. They go, just going to do the garage. And they open the door and they go, yeah, nah. And they close it. It becomes overwhelmed. Why? Because there are 400 items in there that all have their own tasks on them. And in doing so, it's, oh, no, all too much, and they walk away. But if you take garage as a project and you break the project into single next action items and you go, okay, what are the vast array of tasks that I can do in the garage? Well, I can do this, and you write all of them down from a task list of the garage, and you go, okay, are any of them A's right now? Well, based on what you've done recently, probably not. So given that nothing needs to be done within the next 24 hours, everything else is a B. So you go, okay, so if I was going to put them in order, what order would I put them in? Well, I need to take stuff out of that and put them into plastic tubs. I haven't bought the plastic tubs. First task is to buy plastic tubs, etc., etc. So you're actually putting it into a semblance of order where you don't get into one and go, oh, I forgot to do that. By listing every task, you're then able to create it in an order where you go, I've got a tub. I've bought the tub. Awesome. So I can do that and put into the tub now. So it's just a matter of single action items with projects, and then looking at the single action items and doing them one by one by one by one. And for me, it was daily. I would get up and go, what today can I do in regards to the book? What am I able to do that enables me to push this project along today? And I did. I got up and I did another bit, and I did another bit, and I did another bit. And I went through, and I then got to the end of it. For anybody thinking of writing a book, I got to the end of it and I went, I'm done. And my wife came in, she said, okay, are you done? I went, no. No, I'm not willing to give it up yet, because she's an editor. And so, just give me the book. No, I'm not ready. Just give me the book. So I handed over my manuscript to her. It's like, oh, surely it's not ready. It just can't be ready. And she goes, no. And she turned it into a semblance of what is now a very good read. And I even went to the next stage and gave it to my daughter, who's got a master's in education. And I said, can you pick the with a fine tooth comb through this to make sure that the English is correct? And she came up with another 15 or 20 little pieces of English grammar that needed to be fixed. So there is a process with which books get written, and it's not just a matter of just whacking it out there. And some people have done that, and that's fine. I don't mind that. I just wanted to have mine in a semblance of excellence, and I was able to have a lot of people around me to support me in that.
Okay. So now there's a couple of questions that came up. We'll go with Jessica's first. Can you read that?
So how important do you think accountability from others is, Les? If you know you don't stick to these things you lay out for yourself, it's great. The reason why we don't follow through on New Year's Eve, New Year's resolutions, is because there is no accountability. I made a New Year's resolution and no one knows about it, and I've fallen over. That's okay. Who cares? Ta-da! And we just walk away from it. Whereas if we make a New Year's resolution called I'm going to the gym 3 times a week, and we turn to somebody and go, Babu, would you come with me to the gym 3 times a week? And you go, yes. In fact, Babu says, I'll pick you up. That accountability ensures that I go, he's going to be at my door in a minute. I need to put my runners on. I need to put my gym gear on, because I don't want to look like an idiot. And I don't want to be someone that doesn't have integrity. So I better be at the door ready for when you arrive. So that accountability, that can last in a number of different areas. It can be fitness. It can be weight loss. It can be writing a book, whatever agreement that you have, a task or a goal that you want to create for yourself. If you have an accountability partner, you are held to account by somebody else. And the person that you need is someone that is in your corner, that is on your team, that is a supporter of your efforts, as opposed to they wake up the next day and go, oh, it's very cold outside, I'm not going to go. And they text me and say, oh, it's cold, I'm not going to go.
Mhm.
So they're actually letting themselves down and me down. So you want the opposite. You want someone that will go the extra mile. They're the ones that will push you to be the better you.
Nice. So I have, it's interesting because Jessica actually does these sessions. In case you're wondering who Jessica is, she runs the whole Breakthrough Network that you're on. So, um, called, I can't remember the name, Pompadour or Pompadilli or something like that. But
Called the Pomodoro Technique.
oh, you know it. Okay, of course you
Not
know
only
it.
do I know it, I have one.
Oh my God, look at that. I didn't
It's a
realize there
little
was a device that came with
Pomodoro.
it.
It's a Pomodoro, a Pomodoro timer, and the
Yep.
Pomodoro word is Italian for tomato, because the timer looks like a tomato.
Oh,
And what it does is it has a very large ticking sound, so
okay.
that you set it for Pomodoros, and the Pomodoro from the technique is 25 minutes, and you start and do a task for 25 minutes, and having done the 25 minutes, the timer, yes, I knew we were friends. Good on you, Jessica. You set your task for 25 minutes, and at the end of the 25 minutes, the alarm goes off, and you give yourself a 5-minute break, and you go and do something else, and you clear your head, and you relax, and then 5 minutes later, you go, let's do it again. So you set the timer, and you go for 25 minutes. And it's all around the brain chemistry of what the attention span of an individual can do. And normally, some are longer and some are shorter, but the general gist is 25 minutes, that you can concentrate on one task for 25 minutes. Now, Jessica, help me out on this. There are things called distractions.
What?
And those distractions get in the road. So the opportunity for us as individuals is to clear the desk and turn the notifications off on our phone and turn the notifications off on our email, so that we are uninterrupted for those 25 minutes. Even put a sign on the door, wear a hat, put a flag up and says, I am not to be interrupted for the next 25 minutes. I need to work on this task and this task alone. Therefore, I am incommunicado. I am not to be interrupted. So that enables you to just get the 25 minutes done. Now, for some people working at home, that's easy. They work on their own. Others working at home, they've got a family and they need to put up those barriers to go, guys, I need to do this for 25 minutes. But in a work environment, in an office, it's an agreement of, if they've got a hat on, they can't be interrupted. If the door's closed, they can't be interrupted. If they've got a flag up on their desk, they can't be interrupted. So it enables them to have boundaries around their productivity, as opposed to, did you not see I had a hat on? Did you not see my flag was up? Did you not see my door was closed?
Yeah.
So the agreement and the communication of the ground rules was set in place prior, so that everybody knows what that means.
Okay. So my question, going back to your garage example, is you talk about you've got A tasks and B tasks. And if your garage has had those boxes in it for 10 years, it's a B task. So you have to consciously say, no, this needs to be an A task, because otherwise it's just always going to be B task and it's going to take a long time and you're never going to get around to it. Like, how do you resolve that? I'd love to get that garage emptied at some point.
A's and B's. A's must get done today. B's can get done at some point. We get to Saturday and you look at it and go, what needs to get done today? As an A, I need to do shopping.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm out of milk and bread. So that would be an A. So we get that one done early. But given everything else, everything's fine. So everything else becomes a B. And then looking at the B's, what else would I like to get done today? As a nice to do, not as a have to. So I'm going to get 4 things done in my garage. I'm going to buy the tubs. I'm going to sort the boxes. I'm going to put some audio gear away, and I'm going to build that shelf. So those 4 things then become B's that I've done my A's. I now work on the B's, and I'm going to get those done because I haven't done them for a while. And then today I'm going to purpose to get them done. So that's all a matter of, if your list is 100 things on your list and you go, look at all those things. If I work on 4 or 5 of them per day, I'm going to get them done in 20 or 30 days. Okay. So it's like, do you want to be productive? Then you need to purpose to be productive. You need to get things done.
Is it just, this is just sort of a mindset and a framing thing. Is there an occasion to say, okay, you know what, I've got my A done today, and I've got these 4 Bs, which would be nice to get done today. Should I select this B is now going to become an A? I want to get this done today. Or do they stay Bs because that's just what they were before?
Well, it depends on your definition of your task list, because my task list is A's must get done, B's would be nice to get done. So if I'm wanting to move my garage to pristine and clean, then there's a quotable quote. If I want to move my garage to pristine and clean, then I need to do some of the B's. Therefore, which of them can I get done today? Which of them would I like to get done today? And then I go, hey, I really want to get this done. So it's not an A, it's a B, but I want to get it done. So I then purpose to make sure that it gets done.
Okay. So there is,
otherwise things stay on the list forever and you never get anything done. It's like I sit on the couch and I drink beer and I watch television, then you're never going to get anything done. But if you've got a list of 100 things on the list, you go, what's next? What else can I do, Boo? Come on, let's go. Woo!
Yep. No, I get that. I think for me, it was more of a mindset. Like, if I see it as a B, part of me goes, it'd be nice to get done. But if I say, you know what, I'm going to make this be an A, now I have to get it done. Like,
yeah.
And maybe that's just the way I'm thinking, but like, I see the reasoning for you in that, you know, it would be good to get this done. Let's go for it. I've got some time. Let's do it. I think it's just for me. Do I need to build urgency is what's coming in my mind. So I get it done. Right. So, okay. All right. No, this has been very useful. And, you know, there is a garage that needs to be cleaned, so I brought that up. So,
well, it's for everyone's got something, Shiraz. Everyone's got something. It is a thing of what's your thing. And my thing was my garage. It's now great. But there are, like, maybe it's your office, maybe it's your desk, maybe it's your car, maybe it's your house. So whatever that is, there is an opportunity to get it out of your head down onto paper. And I talk to people about a trusted system. Now, my trusted system happens to be a planner like this. And you need a trusted system, whether it's paper-based or app-based, whatever that might be for the individual. What is it for you? So we can get it out of your head down into something that you trust, that you know that at some point it will get done if it's in there. So that all of those, I always have people go, I can't find things. It's around here somewhere. It's on the back of an envelope. It's on a napkin. It's on a Post-it note. It's on a journal. It's like, oh, I can't find it. And people spend a lot of time looking for things. But if you put it in a trusted system, you know it's in one place. So therefore, a lot more gets done. Nothing slips between the cracks because it's in your trusted system. Now, excuse me, I have a 2 parts of my trusted system. The front part is a calendar. The back part is areas of responsibility. Now, you can do this in an app. I just happen to like paper because I like writing. And I grew up without apps, so it's very familiar to me. Whereas I've got a lot of friends that go, no, I can put it in an app and an app works for me. And I go, that's fine too. But for me, I put it in paper, and I have a today list of like a journal entry of what appointments are coming up and what tasks I need to do. And therefore I can look at what are my scheduled appointments and my A's and B tasks, and don't put 40 things on your to-do list. It doesn't work like that. Just have 5 to 10, because people go, oh, I need to keep moving them from day to day to day because I never get them done. Well, you've got too much on your list. If you just put your 5 A's and 1 B, or 6 A's and 2 B's, whatever that might be, that you think you can get done. And once you've done your A's, move on to your B's. If you get your B's done, look at your other data dump list and go, oh, I'll put that one on my list and get it done. So it's a matter of, can you have a system whereby it's in front of you? My planner is right here on my left-hand side. And it is open all the time. So I can see what's coming up. What are the specific appointments, and therefore what are the tasks? So I can be in a meeting with you and go, that's a great point. Let me make a note of it. And I put it in my trusted system, and I don't need to worry about it because I know that it will be captured and I will get it done because it's written down in my day-to-day. So there you go. Shiraz, what do you think?
I like it. I like it.
Do you have a trusted system?
I suppose I do. I've got my calendar, and my calendar is not just for appointments. I do put I need to do this now. I need to do this now. Like Tuesdays at 11, I write on my novel. Every Tuesday, 11 to 1 o'clock, that's locked in there. And I have an accountability.
I've got to interrupt. What are we putting a name on this novel yet?
On this novel, there's the novel is called, I've got.
Come on, Shiraz, let's go. Here we go. He's looking for it.
Hold on.
Stand by. He's found it. It's here it comes.
There it is. I put it on the other side. So this was a novel I put out years ago, and I'm doing the sequel to this novel.
Defenders of the Scroll?
Yeah.
And the name of the sequel possibly could be?
It's it's going to be this has actually got a subtitle called History, Legend, and Lore. So the second one will be Defenders of the Scroll Gauntlet.
Gauntlet. Oh, I love it. Well done.
They're running the gauntlet.
You're working on that every day or every second day?
Once a week for 2 hours.
Nice. Good job.
So that's going on. So and so there's little things I've done that, but I don't think I'm doing it as diligently for the various tasks as you're stating. I've got certain things that are on that calendar, but it feels like even like smaller ones, like some things that take 10 minutes, put them on the calendar. I'm doing it now, taking care of this. And then the rest for the ideas and dumping the ideas and getting it on paper. It's actually just going in the notes app I have on my computer. And I use that notes app for all the information, because then when I'm like, what was that, I can just easily search.
Yep.
It's all digital.
Yep.
So
the opportunity there is to, whatever that is for you. Some use a notes app, some use a spiral bound notebook, whatever it is for you that you deem to be your trusted system. So it goes in one place.
Yeah.
So notice, Shiraz, you put yours in one place. So given that, it's in one place. And I harp on it because a lot of people go, oh, I can't find it. That's because it's not in one place. If you just had one thing in one place, it would help immeasurably.
Okay, cool. All right, we're almost at the top of the hour, but I wanted to do a little coaching on you. Before we do that, in case people have to jump off at 4 o'clock, how can people get in touch with you?
The website is in Australia, so you got to put the AU on the end. So it's getmoretime.com.au. So GETMORETIME, getmoretime.com.au. And the book is available on there at the store, so /store. So it's on that website. If you wanted to, I can give you something for free. So all you need to do is go to Get More Time. It's getmoretime.com.au /time tips, TIMETIPS, time tips. And there's a downloadable there. All you need to do is put in your name and email address, and you can download my 25 time tips for busy people. And that's a freebie just for you. getmoretime.com.au/time tips.
Okay, I'm doing that.
So happy to give that away, and it's got a lot in there. It's got trusted systems, it's got procrastination, it's got all of those good pieces that we've talked about, and they're all in there. It's a download for you for nothing.
Yay! Thank you so much, Les. All right, so I want to do a quick coaching session with you, and just so you know how it works with me, is you pick the topic you want to get coached on, usually an area of your life where you're not seeing the results you want. You're stuck in some way, or you've never been able to break through it. When I talk to you, I can tell when your conscious beliefs match your unconscious beliefs. So you may say, I'd really like this to happen, but your unconscious mind is saying, no, 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 that is horrible. I don't want that to happen. And then we'll dig down and find out what's the reason behind that. So it could be that you're thinking, I'd like to make an extra 100,000 this year. Making an extra 100,000 would be really good. And your subconscious is like, no, 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 no. And when we start delving into it, we find out that you made a whole bunch of money earlier, and you made some bad decisions and you lost all the money, and you're carrying the shame of that. And your subconscious is like, I don't ever want to feel like that again. So I have to make sure I don't make so much money that I could lose it and feel that shame. But you don't realize that's running around. You're just like, why can't I make the money? I keep trying. Mm-hmm. So things like that. Now, when we find out what the belief is or the story, I'm going to say, okay, Les, this is the story that's running, that you're not allowed to have this money because of this reason. Are you willing to step out of the story? If you say yes and you mean it, you have to mean it, because I'm asking you to change it. I can't change it for you. Then it actually shifts in that moment. It's like the story will change. There's a rewiring of neurons in your brain that says, no, this is what the reality is now, as opposed to what I've been living in. And you can often feel it. And I will definitely feel it, because when this happens for me, this is where it gets a little weird. I tend to yawn and cough when people are making that shift, because there's an energetic impact on me. It doesn't matter that you're on another part of the world, I can still feel it. With you, I don't know what you'll experience, because everyone experiences different things. The most common thing I hear from people is they feel like an energy inside them, sort of doing a shift. But you could yawn, you could get hot, you could get cold, you could burp, you could have a little muscle twitch. You could I've seen all these variations, and you may not feel anything. So that's how the process works. Mm-hmm. So what would you like to work
on? Money beliefs is a good one. So let's go with that.
Okay. So what would you like to change in your money situation?
I would like to create, for me, my goal this year is a specific amount of money. So I have it right above my camera. It's right there. Nice. So it's something that I've never created before. It's something that is a stretch for me. And so far this year, it's been a very big challenge.
Okay. So even as you're saying that, I can feel your subconscious going into a huge amount of resistance. So the first thing I want to ask you, is it right to make that much money?
Yes.
Okay, that came up true. Are you allowed to make that much money?
Yes.
That did not come up true. Okay. So, and it was funny because there was even before you answered, there was a hesitation on the second answer, and there wasn't on the first answer. Right? So there's little clues that pop up. So part of you thinks you're not allowed to have that much money. Okay. So first thing that pops up in your mind, what would be wrong? Why would you not be allowed to have that much money?
Such a great, nothing comes to mind. It's like, why would I not have, nothing comes to mind. Nothing consciously. It's like, of course I'm allowed to have that amount of money. I've just never had that amount of money.
Okay. Has anyone in your family had that amount of money?
My sister.
Okay.
My sister has some wealth, and my dad had a semblance of wealth, but it was never overt.
Okay. Are people allowed to know how much money you have?
Short answer is yes. Long answer is sometimes when you put it out, it would be as if I am big noting myself based on the amount of money that I would like to create.
Okay. So do you have to make sure you don't big note yourself and people don't think that you are?
I would say yes.
Okay. So that's part of the problem right there. Because you can consciously say, I'm going to make sure I don't do it, but you can't control whether people think you're doing it.
Mm.
And if you're worried about people thinking you're doing it, you won't do it.
Nice.
Right?
That's very good. Very good. Very good.
Okay. So you have to get to a state where you don't care. Right? If you
Very
don't care if
good.
people think,
I
oh my
like this
God,
a
he's
lot.
just throwing his money around, he's showing it off. As soon as you don't care anymore, you can have as much as you want. And the thing is, when you have as much as you want, most people are just going to be supportive. And they're like, way to go. I can't believe you're doing so. You'll be inspiring. But there's going to be those few that are the haters. They always just show up because you doing that wrecks their story that it can't be done. You oppose their whole belief system. That's why they get angry with you.
I'm writing this down. This is awesome. That's great, Shiraz. That's
Okay.
awesome.
So are you willing to step out of your story that you have to make sure no one thinks you're big noting your
Yes,
money,
yes,
showing
yes,
off your
yes, yes, yes,
There
yes,
we
and
go.
yes, yes, yes. See, I had the breakthrough and you had the cough. So I'm confused about that. It's like I don't understand that. What's going on?
Ooh. Oh, that's a big one for you. That's actually making me sweat a little bit. Ooh. Okay. Now tell
That
me,
was great. That was
how,
awesome.
how do you
That
feel now? Better, worse, the same,
well,
or different?
it shifted inside of me because I understand the process. I understand the process. I just I'm kind of looking at it going, if I'm going to go there, what's underneath this? And it's not as if I don't coach people myself.
Mhm.
So to be coached like that and to get to a nub or um, a, a crux that is holding me back, just elegant. Very well done. Well done,
Thank you.
Shiraz. Well done.
All right. So, and I encourage you to keep looking at this. You don't want to be focused on that because you don't want to get focused on the negative, but every now and then say, what am I worried is going to happen when I get that money?
Yeah. That's good. Awesome. Love it.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for coming on, Les.
I'm glad we finally got the time zones correct and we were able to make it happen, Shiraz.
So am I. So I just want to tell our audience what's coming up tomorrow night. My Way is featuring April Grimm Long at 5:05 Central Time. I love that it starts at 05. Wednesday, Divine DNA is happening at 6 o'clock Central Time. Thursday, Freedom Starts Now with Riza Konashenko. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. That's at 12 p.m. Central. And the Breakthrough Show, our signature show, is on Friday at 12 p.m. Central. And don't forget Project Joy every morning, 8 o'clock. Pop in, have some fun, start your day with some joy. So once more, Les, thank you for being on. If you want to get in touch with him, he has said it on the recording. We're going to put it in the show notes so you can get there. But don't forget, getmoretime.com.au/time tips to get your free time tips. Les has given us a wealth of information during the show. I'm so grateful for everything you've given this time. And I know I'm going to be seeing you out at the various networking sessions and stuff. Thank you again. And I appreciate you.
Wonderful. Thanks very much, Shiraz.
All right. So let us take it out.